walking down the street, and suddenly, you feel light. Not just light, but weightless. You look down, and your feet are no longer touching the ground. This isn't a dream. This is what happens if Earth lost its gravity for just 5 seconds. In the first second, the silent bond that holds our world together snaps. Everything not bolted to the Earth begins to drift. You, your car, and the very soil beneath you are now passengers in a chaotic upward journey. But humans floating is the least of our worries. Gravity is what keeps our atmosphere hugged tight to the planet. The moment it vanishes, air pressure drops to zero. Your inner ears would rupture instantly, but worse, our oxygen begins to bleed into the vacuum of space. At the same time, the oceans, trillions of tons of water, lift off the seabed. Massive liquid walls, miles high, rise into the sky. Because the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, anything not tethered is launched toward the horizon at terrifying speeds. Underneath the surface, the Earth's crust, no longer held down by the weight of the oceans and the atmosphere, begins to expand. This triggers global earthquakes and volcanic eruptions simultaneously. Skyscrapers, designed to stand against downward pressure, lose their structural integrity and shatter into millions of floating pieces. For 5 agonizing seconds, the Earth is a planet in pieces, drifting toward its own destruction. Then, gravity returns. Everything that was launched into the sky, the cars, the buildings, the massive oceans, comes crashing back down at terminal velocity. The impact is catastrophic, equivalent to thousands of nuclear bombs detonating at once. Massive tsunamis wipe out every coastline, and the world is plunged into darkness as dust chokes the sun. 5 seconds of weightlessness, and civilization as we know it is gone. If you want to see more cosmic, the universe is more fragile than you think. Beneath your feet, the catastrophe continues. The Earth's crust is under immense pressure from the gravity above. When that pressure is released, the planet literally begins to expand. This would trigger global earthquakes and massive volcanic eruptions on every continent simultaneously. Skyscrapers and bridges, designed to handle downward force, would lose their structural integrity and shatter into millions of floating shards. Our moon would begin to drift away, and the satellites we rely on for communication would scatter like dust in the wind. 3:45 to 4:30, the return, the great crash, and then, after 5